US Citizenship Test 2025, Part 3, Voting, Democracy, and New Citizens' Rights.
So, David, we've explored what the two major political parties are and how they shape government. But there's one more question every new citizen should master. What are two ways that Americans can participate in their democracy?
I remember that one. You can vote or you can run for office.
Perfect. And notice how both of those connect directly to the two-party system. Voting is how you join the national conversation, and running for office is how you help lead it.
That's interesting. I never thought of voting as a conversation.
It really is. Every time you vote, you're saying, "This is the version of America I believe in." Some people say, "I don't like either party." But the truth is, voting isn't about liking, it's about participating.
Like adding your voice to the choir, even if you don't love every song.
Exactly. And here's the key for citizenship applicants. The test might ask, what is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? The answer is to vote in a federal election. It's not just a right, it's a responsibility.
So voting is part of the job description of being a citizen.
That's the best way to put it. Think of it as renewing your membership in democracy every election day.
I like that image. So, when I go to vote, I'm not just picking a candidate, I'm signing my name on the American story.
Beautifully said. And don't forget, voting is also the great equalizer. Whether you're a new citizen or a fourth-generation one, your vote counts the same.
That's powerful. I can't wait for that moment. To stand in line, get the ballot, and finally say, "My turn."
You will. And when you do, remember that your vote isn't just red or blue. It's proof that you belong in the we, the people. Let's have a little fun, David. Let's do a quick role play, a mini election, citizenship style.
Oh no, not another test.
Don't worry, it's painless. I'll be your election official. You're the new voter. Ready?
Okay, ready?
Welcome to your first U.S. election. Here's your ballot. You see two major parties, Democratic and Republican, and maybe a few others. What's your first step?
I read about the candidates and their positions.
Perfect. You're already being an informed voter. That's something the test encourages, participating responsibly. Now, do you have to vote for one of the two major parties?
No, I can choose anyone, even write someone in.
Exactly. Freedom of choice. Now imagine you're explaining this to an officer during your interview. If they ask, what are the two major political parties? You'd say Democratic and Republican. And if you want to sound extra prepared, you could add, they represent different political ideas, and Americans choose between them when voting.
That sounds confident. I like how it shows understanding, not just memorization.
That's the key. You're showing that you grasp how the system works. And here's another tip. During your real interview, when they ask questions about government, like who makes federal laws or who is in charge of the executive branch, remember that party politics influence those offices. It shows you see the bigger picture.
so I can link questions together, like connecting dots.
Exactly. Think of the citizenship test as a big puzzle. The more connections you see, the easier the whole picture becomes.
I love that, and I guess elections are like the moment when all those puzzle pieces come alive.
That's right. Voting day is democracy in motion. All those civics facts, Congress, the president, the laws, they come together when citizens make their choice.
It's like turning the light switch on after studying how electricity works.
Perfect metaphor. And as a new citizen, your first vote will light up your own understanding of what this country stands for.
I can't wait for that feeling.
And you'll earn it, because understanding why you vote is just as important as voting itself.
You know, Andrea, the more we talk, the more I realize this isn't just about parties or elections. It's about finding where I fit in this giant conversation called America.
Exactly. That's what the citizenship test is really testing, not just facts, but belonging. Every question is a doorway to your own connection with this country.
Like when the test asks, "What is the rule of law?" It's not just about the words. It's about believing that no one is above the law.
Yes, or when it asks, what are two rights in the Declaration of Independence, life and liberty? It's asking if you understand that these aren't just history words, but promises you now share.
That's deep. You know, when I started studying, I thought politics was just noise. But now I see it's a language. Red and blue are like accents in the same national voice.
Beautifully said. And you're learning to speak that language fluently. Every time you understand a question like, who is the president? Or what are the two major political parties? You're decoding the symbols of that voice.
And when I finally pass the test, I'll be part of that voice, too.
You already are, David. Passing the test just makes it official, but your curiosity, your questions, that's the spirit of citizenship.
It's funny, I used to worry about giving the perfect answers. Now I just want to give the real ones.
That's growth. Remember, the United States was built by people who asked questions, some loud, some gentle, all important. That's what keeps the democracy alive.
I like that. So when I take the oath, I'm not just promising loyalty. I'm promising to keep learning and questioning.
Exactly. Citizenship isn't a finish line, it's a lifelong dialogue. And the two-party system, for all its messiness, keeps that dialogue alive.
You know, I used to see the red-blue divide as a fight. Now I see it as music, two notes that keep the melody moving.
That's the perfect way to see it. America's harmony comes from its arguments. The two parties represent balance, tension, and hope, all the ingredients of democracy.
I think I'm ready, Andrea, not just for the test, but for everything after.
You are, David. You've learned that citizenship isn't about choosing between red or blue. It's about understanding both, respecting difference, and believing in we the people.
That phrase means so much more to me now.
It should. Those three words built a country that welcomes your story, your accent, your beliefs. When you say them, you're not repeating history, you're continuing it.
That gives me chills.
Good. Because when you raise your hand for the oath of allegiance, remember this conversation. Remember that being a citizen isn't just a status, it's a promise to participate.
I will, and I'll remember what you said. My vote, my questions, my voice, all part of the song.
Exactly. That's the melody of democracy, David. Red and blue may differ, but together they make purple, the color of unity.
Purple America. I like that.
Me too. It's the color of every new citizen who joins the story. So when you pass your test, take that deep breath and know you're not entering a divided country. You're entering a living, breathing democracy that needs your perspective.
I'll be proud to add my note to that song.
And we'll be proud to have you. Congratulations in advance, David, future citizen, and now a true student of the American conversation.
Thank you, Andrea, for teaching me that the most American word of all is together.
Exactly, David. And that's how democracy wins. One voice, one vote, one new citizen at a time.